Friend, father, lawyer, call Frank Bruno Jr., attorney at law.
Today I'm going to give you some information about Medicaid planning. So Medicaid, it's not that complicated, but it's not that simple. And I have a slideshow that I'll present on occasion publicly. Each month I give webinars. My typical go-to webinar is a general theme of estate planning in the elder law context. So I answer the questions: what is elder law? What is estate planning? I review some terms: will, power of attorney, healthcare proxy, trust, types of trust, irrevocable trust, revocable trust. Do you need a will or a trust, or neither? Right. So today I'm going to give you some information about Medicaid. It's not that hard, right? I did a little play on words, right? It's not that complicated, but it's not that easy. I'll give you another play on words. It's really not that hard. It's complicated, but not hard. Right? Complicated, meaning we have to go through the rules. We have to follow the Medicaid structure. And Medicaid, what is it? It's a stopgap insurance program for the poor. And that word should be in air quotes, poor, because it's poor as defined by the Medicaid rules. So it's, I've reviewed my slide. I quickly looked. It's for people that qualify, not just the poor, right? So you have to qualify according to the rules. And that's why I said poor in air quotes, because it's poor as determined by Medicaid. Another thing to mention, Medicaid is a federal system run by the states. So there are 50 different ways that Medicaid treats a person, assets, income. These are the basic rules of Medicaid. I want to keep this under 3 minutes, so I'll end on this note. Everything a person has is either income or assets. And in the rules of Medicaid, the buzzword, the phrasing is countable assets. Okay. Now, I'm going over Medicaid basics. And Medicaid has their own set of rules. For purposes of Medicaid qualification, you need to have certain income and resources. Resources is the word that Medicaid uses for assets. Income or assets. So is that what's on the slide? So an asset is anything that a person owns and that they have for more than 30 days. So if you receive income and you don't spend it on rent or utilities or expenses, and it stays in your bank account for more than 30 days, the income becomes an asset. Okay? And income is that money that you receive and you have for less than 30 days. So say, for example, your Social Security added up to $1,000 and your rent was $1,000. Well, you would not have had it long enough for it to become an asset. It came in and it immediately went out as an expense. So sometimes it can be confusing with annuities, IRAs with the required mandatory distributions. Okay, assets. Medicaid speaks of things as countable or non-countable. So you can have quite a lot of assets that are not countable. So for example, in New York, you can own a home valued at $804,000 or less. So if you had an $804,000 home, it certainly doesn't make you poor, but it's a non-countable asset. You're allowed all of the furnishings in your home. The couch, dining room set, bedroom set, and right, so we all need those things inside of the house. And then you're allowed a vehicle. So if you have a minivan, I guess if you had a Lamborghini, that's a vehicle too. But if you had a minivan, necessary for transport, but a vehicle is allowed, one vehicle is allowed. And what other assets? A prepaid funeral counts as an asset, right? A cemetery plot. Topic of countable and non-countable assets. In terms of Medicaid, assets are resources. That's a Medicaid word. And non-countable assets are actual assets that you own that the government, in qualifying a person for Medicaid, doesn't count. So you can own a home up to a certain dollar value, and the government won't look at it. It'll be non-countable. You can own a vehicle, right? So I went, and it's non-countable. One vehicle you're allowed, and it's non-countable. So you can actually have more money than you think because of this non-countable and countable assets. Now, whatever is not non-countable is countable. So, if you have a house, that's a non-countable asset. If you have a second home, that's countable. If you have two cars, one car is non-countable, the second car is countable. Right? It's a very lawyerly way to say it. And I'm looking at a slide. This is a slide that I would give publicly. Income is anything that comes in, right? So Social Security, income, Social Security, pension, retirement, certain annuities count as income. And it's an item that you will have for less than 30 days. So your Social Security is $1,200, your rent is $1,200, money comes in, money goes out, that's your income. If you had money that was left over at the end of the month, right, an excess, that money will go into savings, or even if it remains in your checking account, it is an asset after 30 days. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, frankbrunolaw.com. Otherwise, just enjoy the series.